And we are live. Good
Yay!
morning. Hi, Shell.
Hi.
How's it going out there?
Well, I'm out here in the middle of the beautiful northern Arizona desert, and I've got my limited supplies. But other than that, it's awesome.
Uh, well, that's good. I'm glad it's awesome because, sometimes we go on vacation and it rains all the time or something.
Well, it has actually been raining, but it makes the red rocks redder.
Ooh, I bet
They
that's
look even
really
better
pretty.
when they're wet.
Are, are you getting good photos for, making your art later?
Well, I haven't been out that much,
Uh,
but I think I'm going to try to get my mom to drive around today a little bit. So,
ooh, that sounds fun.
yeah.
So I want to say good morning. We've got Judy and Holly and Peggy and Sheena and Rennie. Hi, guys.
I'd say
Uh,
that's
we're glad you're
China,
here.
Penny, Peggy, Holly, Judy. Yep.
Yeah, and Deborah just joined too. Good morning. Um,
Mm.
so today we're talking about neutrals. And as you can see, Shell has some things that look neutral on her desk. Um,
Except for my paints.
Well, yeah, but the cool thing about paints and neutrals is that they blend together well. I have just started, I've got some very neutral tissue paper, and I'm doing some gel printing with some gray and white on that tissue paper because I like that. I like the contrast of that. So, um, we're going to talk about a number of things. I'm going to let this dry because I'm going to add more to that. But speaking of neutrals and what you do with them, how you use them in art. Um, gel gel printing is just one way that I use neutrals. I'm going to show you some ways that I do color blending. I think Shell's going to show a little of that too. And we'll talk about how easy it is to achieve the colors that you want. I mean, yeah, it's easy to go out and buy colors, right? We all know it's easy to go out and buy colors. So what I like to do is to blend colors, and Shell has colors on her desk, and I'm sure she's going to be doing a little color blending with her colors because all you really need are those primary colors and your black and white. When I travel, those are the colors that I like to take with me. How about you, Shell?
Yep, this is all I brought. Just red, yellow, blue, white, and black.
Yep.
So I'm going to show you how to make your neutrals and also to use the brighter colors and why you should use neutrals and what a neutral is. And that's my plan. So I've got my blue, my red, my yellow, my white, and black. And I'm going to be blending these into what everyone continues to refer to as mud. If you blend a yellow and a blue together, it makes green, right? And just depending on how much of this and that you blend together, you get some sort of green. And if you blend red and yellow together, you get orange. This is stuff we learned in kindergarten, right?
Pretty much.
But what happens when you blend green and orange? This is when everyone freaks out and says, "Oh my word, it's mud." You just can't have that. That's the most terrible thing in the universe. Some sort of brown, and everyone freaks out. But
Good.
if you think about where you live and the colors of your walls and the colors of your couch and sometimes the colors you like to wear and the colors of the dirt outside and the nature that we all say is so beautiful, isn't it something like that?
It
I
it
know, right?
definitely is some combination of color. It's not the pure primary colors out of the bottle that you're looking at out your window.
Nope.
It's
So
nature has combined those colors for you and gives you that restful place to look. Because if you're looking at those bright colors all the time, your eyes are going to get really, really tired. You
that's
have to have
true.
a place for your eyes to rest.
So the reason that we use neutrals in art in particular is that if you put a neutral color, whether it's gray, whether it's brown, whether it's some sort of color like that, against next to a bright color, it makes that bright color appear even brighter. So the first project I'm going to do is going to be something about that. I probably didn't mix up enough stuff, but you know, I was just messing around. You know, I don't like to waste my paint, so I only put little teeny tiny bits out. I'm probably going to need more, but these colors are so interesting when you put them against a bright color. And if you take some of these and you put them on a project, it's so easy and so quick. Of course, this project started out neutral because it was a manila tag anyway, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty manila sort of color. Ha ha.
So hi, Jules and Terry and Holly. Glad you're joining us. So
People are rolling in.
what you see here is I started with just a Hansa yellow. This is, you know, that bright yellow that you're looking at. And on here, all I've done is combine it with either black or white so that, you know, you get all of these color combinations with just black, white, and the Hansa yellow. So that's all I needed to create all of these different shades. Now, I would suggest that you do some color experimenting with the paints and things that you have. You know, I have a little color wheel here, and I just, you know, drew that down and color splashed on here to create this. And then, you know, I would take the next color. I'd take the phthalo turquoise, and I'd take my primary magenta, and I'd start with that primary color, and then I would blend it out using the blacks and white just to see what you can attain, because you may not always have all of these different colors in your palette, and you may be looking for something like this. You don't want to have to run out and buy another paint. You want to be able to create it. So I say color wheels are important for that. Let's go back and see what Shell's got going on with her neutral colors in her background.
Oh, I'm blending over here. I'm just blending like crazy.
Blending. Blending.
I'm getting grays, I'm getting tans, I'm getting all these pretty neutral colors that I like. And it's all from just blending the red, yellow, and blue together and then adding, if you add white, you're making a tint. And if you add black, you're making a shade. So I'm just making shades and tints over here and just adding them to my tag. I wanted, you know, because I'm traveling, I wanted something small to work with. So I've got some tags. I do have a small journal if I need it. But
So if you
I can just
go ahead, Shell.
Oh, I was just saying I can just build an entire look by just using these very neutral shades.
Yes, you can.
Yep.
So if you're looking at, you know, things in advertising, you're going to see a lot of things in neutral shades because it's attractive. You know, if you're trying to highlight the form of something, many times you don't want those bright colors. What you may want is the shape of a design. So if you look at these catalogs, the whole catalog is nothing but neutral. And this we find attractive because it's cohesive, it works together, and you're looking at the design shape. You know, I'm looking at the design shape rather than a color. They've thrown in some things like the crystal, the gold, the silver, but you know, most of it is very, very neutral in color. Same thing in this book, you know, it's all very neutral. But the thing I like about this type of advertisement is it's got all of this down here. So I can take a page like this, just a basic page, and I can use a stencil and a sanding block, and I can create some neutral pieces that are going to end up, you know, because I like my layers. Sometimes the color doesn't come until later, but I can create paper like this, and I can also use the clean off of my brayer and stuff to create these neutral papers that are then going to be incorporated into the background of a page like this. So this is jelly printed paper. This is some of that paper that I've just created for collage. So in my backgrounds, I like neutrals a lot. It's just kind of important in what I do.
Yes, I always tease Peg about liking brown. And today that's kind of all we're focusing on. Brown, brown, brown.
Well, you know, it's a neutral. It goes with just about anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, no matter what other colors I use on this page, the background is neutral. It's going to work with it. So I don't
Definitely.
have to decide about the other colors just yet. I can add those in later. I like those neutrals you got going on there, Shell.
Yeah, I was just starting with my first layer. I haven't really made a huge plan about what I'm doing. I think I'm going to grab a stencil. Just trying to figure out which one.
Yeah, cool.
This is probably one of my favorites right here, so I think I'm going to go with it.
Mine
Because I
too.
already have kind of these rectangular shapes. I think I'm going to add in some lighter neutrals, just a little bit, and then maybe some darker. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure what I'm doing.
It's okay. We're playing. We're playing, you know. That's the thing, guys. You don't have to have a real plan when you start collaging things down. It's all about the play. And for me, with this sort of thing, it's all about, you know, the texture and the what you're creating just by adding the neutral colors. You know, that the texture here is more important to me than the color. So I'm just adding some of that into my page by applying some of these pieces.
And some smaller shapes up here.
And, you know, we'll blend in over the top of that.
So one word we're really going to have trouble not saying during this this episode, so I'm just going to say it. Pop. Neutrals make your bright color pop.
I can't believe that word rolled off your tongue, Shell.
Oh, I hate that word. If they would just stop saying it so much. But everything you watch, they say that stupid word all the time.
They do.
Especially decorating shows.
But I do like some pops. I like popcorn. I like, yeah.
Oh, popcorn. Yes, I'm not opposed to popcorn.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So, I mean, there's appropriate times for pops. So let's see. Marie is saying, "Oh, I think they're responding to your chosen word there, Jill."
Oh, I really try not to say that if I can help it.
Yeah.
It's almost an bad word in my vocabulary. But it was gonna happen, so
At some
might as
point,
well just go for it.
Yeah. That is one of my favorite stencils, honestly. I do.
I know, I love this one. This is a fantastic stencil.
So I am just
Designed by
randomly collaging.
Mary Beth Shaw, stencil girl.
Yep.
The woman knows how to make a stencil.
Yes, she
What?
does. And congratulations, by the way, Shaw.
Oh, congratulations to you too.
In case you guys don't know what we're talking about, we are now designing for the Stencil Girl creative team.
Yes. I guess we can say that now. It was a secret for a while.
We can say that now.
Yeah. I think I can do my entire project with just this stencil. I'm pretty sure I can.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
Mm-hmm. My first project, anyway. I've got other stuff to do too. I'm just continuing to add more neutral colors.
So tell us, guys, do you do color blending? How do you guys handle getting the colors that you're after? Let's see. Thanks, Peggy. Thanks, Dawn. Waiting for a response on.
It takes a while. It takes a little bit of a moment for people to say something. This needs something. Well, it's going to have a pop. Are you ready? Are you ready for the pop?
Yeah, Holly, hook you up. Stencil Club. All I can say is that's the way to get hooked up. It's a great thing. They give you lots of ideas and great stencils.
Yep, and discounts and videos to watch and all kinds of great stuff.
Yeah.
That's how I got hooked.
Yeah.
It's Peg's fault.
I got hooked first. What can I say? Well, I went to Mary Beth Shaw's studio a number of times to take classes. And she is awesome if you ever get a chance to go take classes. I took classes with Mary Beth and Gwen LaFleur and Seth Apter at Mary Beth's studio. So they're all awesome artists and can't recommend them highly enough if they're ever in your area. And I noticed, like, if you guys are in Florida, I noticed there's a store in Florida where all three of them seem to be frequently. It's like, ooh, I want to go to Florida.
Yeah.
So I'm just continuing to layer. This is that tissue paper. And you see what I'm doing is I'm repeating the pattern. This is the paper where I had sanded, and then this is the gel print. And it's all neutrals. It's all repeating pattern though. So, you know, what we were talking about in the design catalog was the pattern. That's what your eye is following. So that's why I'm doing the repeat here. Now, I will come back and add some color to this eventually because I like what's going on here, but then I also want to make this more homogeneous. So
Homogeneous.
I will get something on here that helps to pull that together more. So rather than just a blob of this on the page, a blob of that on the page. So, neutrals.
Yeah.
Anybody? Judy says she rarely uses straight tube color. Good for you, Judy. Color blending can be tricky, Dawn is saying. That's why I'm saying, Dawn, if you use color swatches, you know, just take any color that you've got right out of the bottle and then start blending. You know, blend half and half with white, and then take that blend that you've got half and half with white and mix it. Let me do a little bit of that for you so that you guys have an idea of what I'm talking about. I'm gonna just put down one of these stencils that has kind of like color rings on it. And these are Stencil Girl stencils. If you want one of your own, you can just draw a circle and put the lines into it if you want to. You don't have to have a stencil for this. I happen to have a stencil for this. I'm sorry. That's the way I am. But
Nothing wrong with having a stencil, I tell you.
yeah. So this makes it easy because then I can, you know, have my color chart ready to roll. You know, if I'm going to start a large painting, I want to know how to mix those colors over and over again based on the color chart. So this is helpful when it comes to doing a larger piece. You know, working in a journal or on a tag, it's not, you know, you can mix enough to do, but if you're working on a larger piece, sometimes you have to come back and mix that color again. And you need to know how you got to that particular color. A 25-cent word? Why, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So let's do the red, yellow, blue thing. Let's just go for that. So I've got my, as you can see, I've got my chart here. And I'm going to go back to that Hansa yellow, which was right there. I'm going to get a primary magenta for my red. Trying to figure out where this needs to go here. So I think we're going to blend in here. And then the blue. Let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Yeah, I didn't count right. Okay, whatever. All right, so now I've got phthalo turquoise. So I've got a red, yellow, blue thing going on here, and I'm just gonna put that color down on my chart. I'm not even going to worry about it being perfect, but when I do this, if I take this yellow and take that red and blend them together, and I think I'm going to wipe that up because it's not in the right spot. Sure I am. Okay. So if I take that yellow and red and I take half and half of the yellow and red, then I'm going to get that orangey shade with the half and half. And then if I take that orangey shade and I want it to be more red, I'm going to take that orange shade and another half of the red and blend the red into that so that I'm getting a more red orange, more like a blood orange. Like so. And then I want to add even a little bit more red to that. And then we get down to the pure color of the magenta, which is here. So you can see what that does. So now I've got the magenta. Let's add the blue. Rinse my brush. So if I come over here with the blue, and what those adding those other colors neutralizes some of that bright bold color, like where that blue is there. If I add this magenta to that, I would need a little more. So that it's like about a half and half mix. I'm going to end up with more of a purple or aubergine. There's another 25-cent word for you guys. And now I've got this, and I want to add even more red. Mix that up. So we're getting more towards the violet family. These are all colors that Shell would like.
If you have a fondness for anything in the purple range.
So I'm going to take that violet color and mix it with that red.
Don't think I have any words.
And this is what I'm saying, when you're creating colors for your work, you may want to create a color palette like this so that you know what you're going to get. Okay, so now we've got the blue. We need the blue and the yellow. So just going to flip over to Shell and see what she's doing before we do that.
I need a word, and I didn't bring any.
Oh, well, you might have to write a word.
Evil. So basically, what I'm showing here is that that neutral background that I created with mixing all the colors makes the bright colors in the center pop. Do you not agree? Is it not popping? I also don't have a heat tool, so I can't dry it. So I guess I'm gonna have to set it aside and then figure out something, some word or something to put on there. I have another tag, and I think I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna try this one with some watercolor. Same type of an idea of making a neutral background. And I primed my watercolor. I even cleaned off my tray. I know it's amazing. Of course, my water is filthy now. Of course it is.
So Judy worked in a hardware where she got to mix paint quite often, so that's cool.
Awesome.
It's fun to watch those colors, you know, drizzle out and go into the can and make something that you don't know that it's gonna end up looking the way it does. So let's see. I'm going to take that yellow. Got yellow here. Pick up some of that blue. So now we've got that yellow blue, which has turned to a lovely green, and we're going to paint that in here. So that's half and half mix. So now I've got the green, and if I take that same green and I add more blue to it, I'm going to get a darker shade of that green. And then rinse that out. I kind of made a mess of that, but I'm going to try to grab that lighter green up here and a little bit of the yellow, and we're going to get that chartreusey green. From that. So from those three colors, just blending those three colors, you can see what you can get and how those bright colors that we started with are being neutralized by blending. Now I can take these same colors that I've got down here and I can take it another step further. I can take the white and the black, get some of this white out and some of the black. And I can blend, you know, suppose I want to take this purpley color and I want to blend a little bit of the white in with that so that I get a lovely lilac. I can do that. If I want to go darker, I would take that purpley color and a little bit of the black. And we get a nice deep color. It's not black. It's a deep purple.
Isn't that the name of the band?
Yeah, I think so. But you can see how you can create some really nice mixes. Just playing off of this palette here. So I hope that gives you some ideas and, maybe you'll experiment a little bit with the colors that you have. See what kind of mixtures you can get. But I think that that's interesting in itself that, I can create these shades here that are not those bright colors. And, a lot of times people look at these pinks and purples and they say, oh, what beautiful colors, they're the colors of the petals on my apple tree or whatever. Well, this is how you get it. So you're doing all of that with watercolor, Shell?
I am. I did have some this stuff, modeling paste on there from earlier,
Uh-huh.
apparently. And it's got a sheet of dictionary paper in the background that I had put on with some matte medium. I think I did this yesterday, and this was just sitting here still. I've been playing around with my stuff, of course, as I'm on vacation-ish.
Hey, Vicki Ross. Good morning.
This reminds me of where I'm at, actually, especially if I put some of this rusty color in here. I'm in Sedona, Arizona, and it's just beautiful here. It's just full of these beautiful red rocks, structures everywhere. And I'm up here to go to my son's graduation. So my mom has timeshares, and so we got a week, and then people are coming, people are going. Got a lot of family coming in. So we got a nice big place close to where we need to be. But yeah, I need a little bit more of this white maybe. This is just watercolor. It's
Sounds like a good time though, Shell. Sounds like your family should have a good time together.
I think so. I think Friday we're all gonna do lots of things together, and that should be fun. Grandparents and friends and just everybody coming to celebrate.
Uh-huh.
And just getting away a little bit.
I think I'm going to have to dry that a little bit. It's still sticky.
Yeah, I was wishing I had a heat tool. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Would have been nice.
Well, we're going to have to remind each other when we pack. Because, last week when I was in Chicago, I didn't have one either. Like,
yeah.
What the heck? I was honestly going to go upstairs and see if the girls had a hairdryer.
Actually, there might be a hairdryer in the resort here.
Well, sometimes we resort to listen to desperate measures, desperate times, desperate measures, right?
I'm probably going to need to look because this is really getting wet, and we're going to be here forever if I don't get it dry.
Uh-huh. Looking good though, looking pretty. I like that a lot.
I have some layering stuff I can put on this one, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
I started making that layering or that collection of stuff book, which is this that we talked about on another show, but there's not very much stuff in it. I didn't get very far. I think I'm gonna run over and try to find the blow dryer
Okay.
in the bathroom.
All right. I'm just selecting a stencil here, because I put down my neutral background, with my collage bits. And while I'm picking out a stencil here to use, I want to talk to you guys about this book. It's called Color Choices. This is from Stephen Quiller, and I would highly recommend this if you're interested in color mixing and creating some of these color chart things like we were just talking about. He has, we were just doing this, but he also has a lot of information in here about, he has his own color chart. Let's see. What's I going to show you? He has this in here, which is his own Quiller wheel, which is kind of a, you work with the colors that you guys have, create your own charts, and then, see what you like. But it's got a lot of information in here about color mixing, earth colors, their complements, that sort of thing. Organizing your palette, and then, of course, painting with monochromatic, complementary color schemes. And you can see this is very neutral, and they've added a little bit of I like to call this quinacridone gold because I like that color. And then this purple here. But you can see on this page, we've got the value chart. And then here, you've got a mixed chart. So, if you're really, truly interested in learning more about this, I would say that this is a good book to get. It'll give you a lot of information. It's going to talk about, the color chart and the things that are going to complement the other colors that you're using in your art. And I know a lot of people struggle with color, but like I said, if you're taking that out of the tube color and you're neutralizing a little bit with your black and white, you're going to end up with something that is going to be very pleasing in nature. So, all right, I have white here. I don't really think I want a pure white. Trying to see if I have any gray out here. Here's a dark gray. Of course, I could mix my black and white. Let's just do that. Let's just mix the black and white because we can. So I've got a little bit of the black, a little bit of the white. I'm going to make some gray. And I think I'm going to use this stencil. And remember, I was talking about unifying. That's all I'm doing is, I've got this element up here in the corner. I'm adding a stencil design. Here's where I've layered things together again. I'm going to do the same thing in here. Take a little black, a little white, blend it on my sponge. A little more white in there, I think. And it's going to unify the background and those pieces that I've added in here. And if you get something like this, you can just feather that out. But you see down here where it's just the choppy pieces of paper, and up here where it's starting to be more cohesive. Tint it with blue? Not yet. No, actually, I like a Payne's Gray, which has a blue hue to it. And if you notice in here where I did the gel print, it kind of has a bluish tint to it. I'm running out of white. I need some white. Let's see, is this one open? Yes, it is. There we go. Oops, didn't shake. Come on. Sometimes, I tell you. Come out wherever you are. All right, gonna be like that. I'll just take the lid off.
So I did find blow dryer.
All right.
I'm going to dry brush and highlight a little bit of this texture if I can. Wished I had some metallic, like maybe copper.
Yeah,
It
copper would be fun.
would
And
be.
honestly, you know, that might be the direction I go, is just putting a metallic on here. Because I happen to like neutrals with metallics. Remember that catalog I was showing you guys that had the neutrals and metallics in it? Very nice combo. So, all right, so let me flip this over here and show you guys how that has kind of changed the layout here. I'm not really liking this line right here, so I can add a little something in there, and don't need a whole lot. And if it gets to be a little bit too much, you can always soften it up like that. Same thing in here. Soften that up a little bit. So, yeah, even though it's a very busy background, I happen to like it. Just because it's neutral. Because it's neutral. You know, I'm looking at the design more so than I am the color. So I'm going to let that dry. And I've still got this stuff out here. And I'm going to take some more paper and use what I've got on my sponge. And all of these music sheet papers, book papers, all of that. Those are neutral colors. You know, they're just kind of a tannish tone.
They definitely are.
So all these people that are putting book papers on their pages, you know, they think they don't like neutrals, but let me tell you, they really do because they're using them. Let's see. How's it going over there, Shell?
It's going good. I got a couple things here I'm working on.
Yeah, I like that.
I put a scribble word on there. I just used deli paper and I scribbled it on my deli paper and then cut it out and glued it onto the glue stick.
Vicki Ross says she loves neutrals. Yep, me too, Vicki. You gotta have a little of that in your life. Just singing. So do you guys have any questions about, you know, what we're talking about with colors and, you know, combining and all of that their stuff?
That there stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Vicki says my tags look like iPhone covers.
Oh, huh. Well, you know, you probably could
I've made a
sell
lot
it.
of iPhone covers actually.
You
I've
did
got this
make a
one
lot
on
of
right
them.
now.
I remember that. I've made a few of those. They're kind of fun to change out for the season. We were doing that for a while.
Yep.
Well,
Sorry.
let's see. So anyway, my life, I tell you, my life has been crazy. My kids are coming tomorrow. They're helping me put a new bed in for my husband. Today he is 82 years of age.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, I'll tell him. So we probably are going to have to do a little bit of birthday celebrating.
Definitely.
And just spend some time with the family this weekend. It was nice that everybody decided to come. So
Yeah, that would be awesome.
like your place, you're going to have a bunch of people. I'm going to have a bunch of people.
Yep. I think when it all pans out, there'll be 9 of us in this place.
Yeah.
Tomorrow or tonight and tomorrow and the next day. Right now there's 2. There's going to be 9.
Yeah.
The other thing I don't have is any fibers. So I can't do my tag top here.
Oh, you don't have a t-shirt you're just going to rip up for that?
No, I really don't. I don't.
I have been places, it's like, do I have an old paint rag, or do I,
Yeah, my no, I don't really have anything at all. I think I'm going to do a little stamping on this one.
uh-huh. I think some of these, now you guys are probably going to be freaking out. Because you're here, I'm going to let you in on a little something. In our Art Joy Sharing group next month, we're going to have a little challenge for you.
Yay!
And it will be a month-long challenge. You can participate as much or as little as you like, but I'd really like to see a lot of art coming out of that. So next month's challenge is going to be an artist trading card a day. And you guys know this because we did it last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying we're going to do a video every day. I'm just saying that you will probably see a lot of artist trading cards coming out of Art Joy Sharing this year. And we would love it if you guys participate in that. And the hashtag, let me get it out here. The hashtag, let me get something darker than a pencil. Need something bold that you guys can read so that you use this. Will be hashtag ATCAD, Artist Trading Card a Day 2019. Okay, so that'll be the hashtag. So when you post to whatever social media you're posting to, whether it's our Facebook group, whether it's Instagram, whatever, then we'll be able to find it based on the hashtag. Hey, Lindy. Thank you. I will tell him. Yeah. So I'm just, creating a background, which will probably go on some artist trading cards. Just saying.
It could happen.
It could happen. It could really happen. And because artist trading cards are small, this stuff might look a little bit busy with all this stuff on here, but by the time you cut it up and put it on an artist trading card, it looks entirely different. Entirely different. I really like the way the musical notes are peeking through some of this. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I like your feathers. They're pretty cool.
These are stamped on tissue paper, and I just have them with me in my container.
Yeah.
Got a few different images, stamped on tissue paper.
That's a good
That's
way
a good way to carry a lot of stuff. So
it is.
some matte medium.
A lot of stuff in a small space that way.
Yeah. So if you like your favorite stamped images, stamp them on tissue paper with permanent ink. You can carry them along with you when you're going. Trying to get my matte medium on there without ruining the watercolor.
Yeah.
Trying to get this mostly to fade into the background.
I was working on some, okay. What did I do with that tissue paper? I was working on some tissue paper earlier before the show, And Shell and I were discussing the pros and cons of different tissue paper. Now, a couple of the papers that I have out here are things that I got from Etsy. Um, like this checkerboard one. These are the kinds of things that you guys see in those fish and chip baskets, like this checkerboard, or this is some script, says London on it, and it's got like newsprint stuff. But the one I was using, that I was going to use on my page, which now I've lost totally.
Yeah, what did you do?
Yeah. Was a Dina Wakley. And we decided that the Dina Wakley tissue is really some pretty tough stuff. It's more like that deli paper, because I was going to add this in on my page because I thought this image was kind of cool with what I was doing, which I can do. I've got some gel medium. And
She was having the hardest time tearing that.
I was having a terrible time tearing that, wasn't I?
Yep.
And I tore it
It was
in pieces, and okay, so I guess I haven't used much of her tissue to know what it was like. But I don't know that this is going to fade into the background either, so we're probably going to have to do the same thing with it that we did with those other torn pieces of paper to make it disappear. Because you can see the edging of that. Although I do like that image. I think that's a pretty cool image. Try and get that to go down flat. I should have sprayed it with water. They do go down better with water. Just saying. Oh, now you got rub-ons. Cool.
Yep, and you know what I don't have? Something to rub it on with.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to figure that out in a minute.
you got a back of a paintbrush or something, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Yeah.
I like to cut my rub-ons out. I don't like to just put the paper down and rub. I like to get them away from their backing. I forgot I had this. I guess I threw something in for words, which was rub-ons, and then didn't bring a rubbing stick.
Ah, yeah.
You just never know what's in the book. Don't even remember putting it in there.
Well,
let's see. How about
Barb says that they have a little brew pub in town that uses the black and white check. Yeah. And I've gone to some of those places and said, could you give me a couple extra pieces? Because that's the kind of girl I am, and they'll do it.
Come on, you dumb rub-on. Get on there.
Uh-oh.
You know,
Talking
sometimes
to
they
it now.
don't.
She's talking to it now.
Hoping maybe I can convince it. It should get off the backing and get onto the thing. Ah, good, it worked. Yay. Yay.
All right, I've got kind of a messy situation here.
Situation.
Situation. Well, I'm getting all these wet mediums down. You know what happens when you get wet mediums down? You have to dry.
Yes, that is the issue, isn't it? I've got matte medium on here that's not dry, and I can't color over the top. So I decided to use the watercolors. The watercolors can color over the top, but then it's just making it wetter. Of course.
Of course.
I want to put a little white highlight on there, so I'm trying to get it to dry so I can
Yeah.
do my pot.
That is going to be very wet.
She has a heat tool. Unfair. I have to just wait for mine. I guess I'm gonna move on to a artist trading card since I don't know how much time we have left. We still have time. I have a piece of watercolor paper and I have these stencils that want to stick to each other all the time.
Peggy's asking if anybody's doing iCAD this year. We did that a couple of years ago. However, I don't like working on index cards. Just saying.
No, they're flimsy.
Yeah.
They're too flimsy.
It's really poor paper.
Yeah.
So we opted.
So we do the ATC stuff.
Yeah. Because we
So
could.
join us doing the ATCs. You'll be much happier.
So remember I said I was going to add some metallic? I think it must be time for that.
I think you're probably right.
I just think it must be time for that.
I'm using very, very dry watercolor, a dry brush over the top of a stencil to make a background on this ATC. This is watercolor paper, 140-pound watercolor paper. So it should work. It's not, you know, it's not your beautiful, perfect stenciling, but it turns out pretty cool. If you got a little bit of a puddle, you can blot. And then once that is dry, you can go over it with a different stencil if you want to. I don't know if I should get my borrowed blow dryer out and dry it or not.
Yeah. So I'm using this Americana Premium. This is called Pale Gold, which is still fairly neutral.
I think metallics are neutral. I really do. I would list them in my list of colors that I think are neutral. Come on, dry stuff. You're getting me annoyed. Oh, heat tool, wherefore art thou, heat tool?
Okay, and that's a little bit squishy.
Oh, I know. I have a distress ink here. I can do a little bit with that. That's what I can do. Come on. Don't be such a pain.
Now, I think this is going to dry down to have a little bit more shimmer than it does when it's wet. So we shall see what happens once this dries. I'm hoping it has a little more shimmer when it dries. So that would be pretty.
Ooh, that's nice. I like that.
And let's see. I've still got stuff over here, so I'm going to mop that up with another piece. So I've probably got enough layers going on. I need to think about some finishing pieces here. I also have some of this metallic tulip liner. It's dimensional. I'll put this on at the very end because I think it would be a little bit hard right now because it stays dimensional. The other thing that you can do is get these little bottles like this. And if you want to do some writing or something on there, these are really cheap from Amazon. And you can put your fluid acrylics into this and do your writing. But I'm going to go look for some things to add here.
That's looking pretty, I think. Maybe just one more layer over the top with a little bit of darker, maybe some acrylic paints. Maybe. Just to go pop. But I don't want it to be sheer black. So, yeah, just a touch. A touch of that white with it. I want to bring in some of this warm color too, though, so I guess it's dry. I have to give it a little bit of red. Just a smidge, just to make it a warmer color. Still gray, but not as gray. I'm trying not to place it exactly the same spot. I want to get some variation here. And just give that, well, that has too much stuff on it already. I only have one sponge, of course. Because it didn't pack well.
Well, you know, I think packing is an art.
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing it when it's last minute and you've already got like 1,000 things to do and you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off and all that. All right, that's pretty. Now, what do I have to put on here? I have a nice copper backing piece. You know that. I don't have any copper paint. But, oh, I've got these little children. That's what I can put on there. Little children, and I've got a couple flowers. We've got this little plant.
Your tags are looking beautiful, Shell.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that other way better. I do. I think I do.
So I went and grabbed, I've got these skins. Let me show you here. I've got these skins that I created some time ago. I just keep them in a bag like this. And, you know, I was showing you these. Well, you can create them ahead of time just by putting them on another surface. This one's kind of stuck down a little bit. And, you know, if I want to peel this off of here, I can typically do that just by getting underneath here and peeling it. And then I could glue that down if I wanted to. Or if you're on acetate like these are, they can glue on here readily. So I'm thinking about gluing those down, and I have this, which is a clear sticker. So I'm playing with things to see if I like. I think I like this sticker. Not sure about the this. Might want to do something in a gold. Gold. Let me look at my skins again. Or white, and I've got white too. So there's some white. There's some gold. All right, so I've got white and gold. Let's see what that looks like. Whoops. See if I can peel this up. So I put that down on here, and then I put a couple layers of gel medium over it. Gotta get under the edge to peel it. There we go. Might get it up now. And then again, I might not. That's what happens when you're in a hurry. Nothing goes quite as well. And it does work. You know, if you have extra silicone sheets that you can put this stuff on, you don't have to be in a hurry and put it on tele paper like I did. And if you soak this, you know, you can soak this stuff off the back here too, because it's just paper. It'd be like a transfer. You can soak that. So, and I might have to do that because this is really showing through here. Let's see what I can get, if I can get that to come off of there. Get my trusty rag. And peel. See, the paper is peeling now. There we go. That's looking better. A bit more water over here. Get that peeled back. And these are just old towels. Yeah, I like to toss them in the wash and reuse stuff rather than just constantly using baby wipes and that. Trying to be socially conscious of, you know, our usage on things. So, okay, so not perfect, but close enough. And we're getting close to the top of the hour, so I want to get something down here. So I think I'm going to use a portion of this. So you can just cut it like so. And that's still too big because I just want it to come like right in there. So cut that back a little bit more. And then I'll just put some matte medium down and apply it. So I agree with Shell. I think these metallics fit in with the neutrals very well.
Yep, I think so. All right, final steps. I'm gonna need some white on these.
And I need some Quinn Gold.
And why the heck not? It's a great color.
I think that's going to be my Papa color here.
The word.
That's right, the word. There's going to be a little haze under the surface where I'm gluing these down because until it dries, it's going to look white. Just will. And that's okay. Try and get as much of that pushed out as I can. And get my Quinn. Yeah, page protectors work great, Vicki. That's true. So I want this watered down. And actually, I think I'm going to put a little right through the middle and take my spritz bottle. See if I can get it to move that way. Of course, it's not wanting to cooperate. So let me. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm after. And get a little bit too wet there. I want it to drip. Okay. Come on. Get watered down some more here. Get it to drip on this side. Okay, that's got to dry. Because it's very, very wet. And we are at the top of the hour.
All right.
So let me flip over here and have Shell show you her beautiful creations.
Yeah, I think they're done. I just finished putting a few gems on this one. That's my abstract one. Then I added some white pen to this one, some splatters and some white highlights. So that one's got washi tape on it, and it's got the rub on, and then it's got the feathers. And then here's my little ATC.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to need some copper when I get home to bring the copper backing to the front. So
Good plan.
those were my projects.
Yeah, very cool. So I've got a super wet page. I'll put some final shots up for you guys in the group and, you know, different places. But remember that book I was showing you guys in case you're interested. That's Color Choices from Stephen Quiller. I would recommend that. And let's see, what else did I want to tell you about? Don't forget about our artist trading cards coming up, giving you kind of a head start so you guys can start gathering things. Here's a piece that you'll probably be seeing in the future as part of that. And we want to thank you guys for having been here today. And we'll see you again next time.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.